Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Bags to Riches podcast. I'm your host, Zach Ginn. And if you want to know actually how to build a legit virtual wholesaling system, this is the video for you today. I'm joined by Ryan Saxman, who is a real estate investor in Clearwater, Florida, but he does most of his deals virtually in North Carolina. He has built a system. He's making over 6 figures a year. He's doing deals left and right. He's killing it out there. And I really wanted to pick his brain. Again, when I bring someone to you on the Bags to Riches podcast, I vet these guys. Ryan's not this big guru who's going to sell you this crazy course. He's legitimately someone like us in the Flip with Rick family. He just wants to give value and free content out and just want to help. So Ryan is the legitimate guy to learn virtual wholesaling systems. Thank you so much for coming on today, Ryan.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, Zach. I appreciate it.
All right. So let's get it started from the top. Who's Ryan Saxman, and how did you get into real estate wholesaling?
Yeah, so who's Ryan Saxman? I was Coast Guard, active duty for 10 years. I have a 13-year-old son. I'm a Christian man. I believe strong in patriotism, and I'm out here to help a lot of people.
All right. Thank you for your service, by the way. I appreciate it. Everyone at Flip with Rick, we love our vets out there, and honestly, a lot of vets are doing amazing in real estate wholesaling. I mean, shout out to all these guys. I mean, the bigger the wholesaler, sometimes I figure out they all got some commonality. They were in the military. They've done something very hard and strenuous and something very difficult, and that's kind of helped them jump forward in their business. But when it comes to wholesaling, how did a Coast Guard veteran learn about wholesaling at all?
I wrote a book, Don't Be Normal, Be Unstoppable. It's available on Amazon. What happened is I tried to become successful. I didn't have a mother or father that was really like, this is how you become successful, Ryan. So I was 30 years old in the military with 10 years under my belt. And I just knew that I wanted like money in the bank. I wanted freedom. I wanted to travel. I wanted to live life on my own terms. And so I just started watching all these videos. And in my book, it says the video that changed my life was Ron LeGrand, how to turn $10 into $10,000 with wholesaling, right? So I was just watching the video and I was like, I like it. So I actually started down the rabbit hole of real estate investing 3 years ago while I was in the Coast Guard. And so I read like 75 books.
Wow.
Had all this information in my head. And so I was like, really, God just put it on my heart. Jesus is in my book quite a few times. And he put it on my heart to write a book, to put all those books into one book. And so I put it into 122 pages. And, that was kind of the start of me just kind of branching out and just starting to do different things in my life.
Okay. And one last thing before we get going, guys, can you make sure you can hear me? I got somebody said there's no sound, but I'm pretty sure there's sound. But Ryan, the next thing I gotta tell you is, so when did you start getting your foot in the door in wholesaling, and when did you start putting the pedal to the metal on it?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I'd say about 16 months ago, I got into wholesaling full time. So the first 2 years, the first 2 years of my career in real estate was procuring private money. I raised about $1.2 million in private funds. And then I flipped about 10 to 15 houses. And that's what I wholesaled one deal. And I wholesaled that one deal. It was a for sale by owner sign in front of a house. And I was just driving by.
Where?
It was in New Bern, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never heard of that place in my life, but okay.
Don't ever go there. It's very backwoods. So that's where I got my start as well. Just in the backwoods where there aren't a lot of deals, where, the population isn't, where you can look it up on PropStream and have 80,000 records to choose from, so, and I didn't know about virtual. I didn't know you could do this very virtually, and having boots on the ground and having the systems to set up behind you to do it. So about 16 months ago, I jumped in to wholesaling, and I jumped all in, and I really watched a lot of TTP, Brent Daniels, talk to people.
Shout out to Brent.
Yeah, shout out to Brent Daniels, man. And so I started getting a lot of cold callers and putting money into my business and creating systems and things like that. And, my first 6 months of business, I literally created it with a yellow pad of paper, 3 cold callers on a Mojo dialer, and me just calling them and trying to put deals together. That was my business for 6 months.
Oh my gosh. What were the results of that? What were the results of the 6 months?
Actually, really good. I mean, I think I generated like 150,000 in wholesale fees my first 6 months in business.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, with a yellow pad of paper every day. Now I'm doing this full time, so, but I played a lot too. I didn't have the, I wasn't a business owner. I never was before that. So I didn't know about like consistent marketing and, spending 8 hours a day in your craft and acquisition skills and all of that stuff. I've learned all that stuff by reading books, putting a lot of money and time back into myself, and talking to a lot of people. Shout out to Brent Daniels again.
All right. And yeah, Brent's amazing dude. He's been on our podcast. He always gives a lot of great stuff, but I don't know if this is a too personal question to ask, so I'll ask it very generally. So first 6 months, got 50,000 in wholesale fees?
Yeah.
Were you in the Coast Guard at that time?
I was not. So I've been out of the Coast Guard for 2 years, full time.
Okay.
2 years, come February. February will be a 2-year gap from me getting out and doing something full time. But the first 6 months I got out of the Coast Guard, I was flipping houses still. I didn't even really know that you could scale a wholesaling business, And so, interesting story is, man, like, I got screwed out of about $75,000 on like 5 flips in North Carolina.
Wow.
By my contractor. So my first year of business startup, I'm having to pay my private money lenders back. I'm having to pay $24,000 on 6 HVAC units that I didn't have the money for. He didn't allocate it correctly. So, yeah, I've made money, but, I've had a lot of learning lessons in this business from my first year. Okay.
And so you made 150,000 in wholesale fees for 6 months. What's the average salary of a Coast Guard person coming out during that time?
Oh my gosh, I would say about 40,000 per year.
Man. Wow. So what was that feeling like when you got your first couple deals and no one knows they made it in wholesaling, but what was that feeling, or when was that moment that you knew that this was legitimately something that I could scale and I can do for the rest of my life?
I'm still doing it, brother. I'm still doing it. I mean, it's not like, money, coming from $40,000 a year, right? And then having $30,000 paychecks, I'll tell you this, what I've learned, that's not a lot of money. And I'm going to be completely honest with you on that. So, by all means, you can make a couple $30,000 paychecks. You'll quickly realize that that's not a lot of money at all. And, then your lifestyle goes up. And now it's like, well, I want to make $100,000 a month. So personally, I don't know, maybe that's just me. That could be me. I live nice. I live very, very nicely. But I'm understanding the value of money right now, and I'm understanding it's not what you make, it's what you save.
Okay. And go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah. So I just want to break down for everyone here, because there's a lot of people new. They really want to get into this. And so that first 6 months, that first 150,000, can you break down exactly what you were doing? Where were you living? Where was the market you were at? And what did that team look like?
Yeah. So it was just me and my partner at the time. Mm-hmm. It was 2 people in my bedroom on a computer. I saved up and I got another computer. So we had 2 computers in one room. We had 2 desks, and we were all virtual. And literally, I pulled a list of 20,000 records, and I worked that for the first 6 months. I did not buy another record in my business for 6 months, and we cold called them. No
Were
text.
you in Florida at the time?
I was in Florida.
And you were wholesaling in North Carolina?
Yep.
Okay, just so everyone understands that. All right. And why did you choose North Carolina?
So when the last 4 years, I was in the Coast Guard in Morehead City, North Carolina. And I went to an event, shout out to Mark Evans. I went to a Mark Evans event. It cost me $5,000 for a 2-day event. And just to sit in the room and listen. So paid that, went there, and I literally was face-to-face with Mark, and I said, hey, I'm getting out of the Coast Guard soon. I'm flipping houses in North Carolina. I'm moving down to Florida because I love Florida. That's my dream location to live. I love Florida. Every day is beautiful. I live like 5 miles from Clearwater Beach, the #1 beach in the country. And, I said, Mark, what would you do? What would you do right now if you were me? And he's like, I'd stay in North Carolina. He's been wholesaling houses in Ohio from Florida for the past 20 years, 25 years. So that's why I moved down to Florida and I stayed in North Carolina. I know the market. And so that's why I stayed up there.
Okay. I mean, I just think it's funny because you stumbled upon an amazing market, and I'm in North Carolina too, virtually. I do a lot of the Southeast, but that's amazing. So I feel like a lot of people watching this, especially starting out trying to build a virtual wholesaling system, they feel like, I'm not going to say any gurus out there, but there's gurus out there say, Ryan, you need to have 10 cold callers, 5 dispositions people, a bunch of acquisitions, and like a receptionist and all this crazy stuff. And you were doing that just 2 people and 2 computers. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I think I've never really put 2 and 2 together, but you have a different perspective on it, kind of an outside perspective. People from the military. I mean, our core values are honor, respect, and devotion to duty. And they drill that into you. I mean, I went through 2 months of boot camp, and, I was 2.5 years on a cutter where we slept in a coffin for 2 months, chasing drug runners out in the Bahamas. And your qualifications there, I mean, are 4 months. 4 months to get qualified on a cutter.
Wow.
You're waking up, you're living on the cutter Monday through Sunday. You don't have a work schedule because you're out to sea. So I knew that if I could tackle that regular life I could tackle, and it's clearly showing that I can do it.
Mm-hmm. And what was your motivation for actually, getting through some of those tough cold calling days? Because I've cold called a lot. I used to do 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. There's moments there. I feel everyone in this audience who does cold calling knows you hit like hour 3 and you're just like, oh, no deals at all. Everyone's cussing you out. What got you through those like insane moments?
It's a muscle. It's a muscle. And, there is never, so one thing about me is I got 16 months into this business, right? I'm sitting in my own office right now. And I have acquisitions managers. I have integrators. I have a buyer's relations specialist. I've got 3 cold callers. I'm an acquisitionist myself. And I've done all this in 16 months. What it is I don't have a plan B. I just have a plan A. And I don't care what happens. I mean, I lost $40,000 the first week of COVID. A lot of people, and it kind of irritates me because a lot of people will be like, my business is thriving. Ooh, I've had no losses since COVID happened. I'm amazing. And I've lost pretty much $70,000 because I lost $30,000 there and $20,000 each on 2 other deals because of COVID. And, it's a real thing that wholesalers are dealing with because right now in North Carolina, you can't evict anybody.
Oh, same as Florida.
Same as Florida. And if you don't think that's coming up, or there's older people that are sick that don't want you to walk their property.
Yep.
How about that one? Oh yeah, no worries. We'll come in, and so you got to deal with masks. You got to deal with people getting sick with COVID, literally. You got people that don't want to buy houses because they can't get eviction laws. You can't take people out. So there are real concerns with any business that, they've had effect, but we're still doing deals because, like I said, there is no plan B for me. I just don't make excuses. I make money.
Definitely. I mean, so looking at your business now, obviously you've sort of scaled it up. You've made some key hires there. What does your business look like now? Like a complete rundown structure of it. And can you kind of break down how your deal flow works?
Yeah. So one thing I've realized is that you want pillars in your business, and those pillars
Mm.
are people. Okay. One pillar is your acquisitions manager. That is revenue generating a system. That's a revenue generating system. Okay. So you always want that going. You don't want your acquisitions manager going out and walking properties. You don't want them. I don't even walk a property. I haven't been to a closing in 16 months. I don't plan on going to one.
Woo.
And
I love it.
one thing I'm learning too is time is money. So do I want to walk houses? No. Would I rather pay someone $50 to do it? Yes. Would I rather go to a closing and pick up a check, or would I rather be sitting on a phone doing a revenue generating, pillar in my business? So, what we have now is we have an integrator who does the leads, who brings in the leads. So I don't do that. We have acquisitions managers that just sit on the phone and do they generate revenue and opportunities for the company. And then we have a disposition, and pretty much transactional coordinator. Because if you have 5 deals going on and they're going to close, that's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
So you want a transaction coordinator. And I mean, this is kind of going to the next level here. But what it is, it's time management. Time management, scale accordingly, and pay the people accordingly to do those jobs.
Definitely. I 100% agree.
That's kind of what it looks like right now. I just do texting and cold calling. That's all I do.
They're absolutely amazing in North Carolina. I'm telling you, that's really what we're mainly doing. The cold calling, we're kind of tweaking some stuff on there, but it really does come down to time. I mean, as I don't have a child, but as someone who has a 13-year-old child, you probably realize pretty quick, time is short. Kids grow up fast, and the most important thing is time. Have you kind of figured that out too?
Yes. And, working in my business and being busy, 8 hours goes by so fast.
Oh yeah.
It just goes by so fast. So one thing I'm learning is, especially since we're working on 5, 10, 15, 20, $25,000 deals, is our time is very valuable while we're at work in that 8 period of time, in that 4 hour period of time. And actually, one thing that just kind of came to me that I would like to utilize to help people if they're just getting started is utilize things that just get you leads. So if you're working an 8-hour job and you implement a system that will get you leads within that 8-hour period of time. So then when you get off of work, you can spend 20 minutes on a phone call, an hour and a half on 4 phone calls and those are leads, right? So those are leads that you need to answer back. Okay. So if you're working 8 hours and you say, well, I just can't do this. Well, implement texting, implement, a $5 an hour cold caller. So I spend, $40 a day per cold caller, and they work for me for 40 hours per week.
Okay.
Yep.
So how many cold callers?
3.
So 3 working how many hours a day?
8.
8. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is going to be probably the most important question I can ask about cold calling and VAs. It's obviously I can just go to Upwork, hire someone, but that is 5% of the battle. How are you doing 95% of the battle, which is training them, keeping them accountable, and keeping them motivated? How are you doing all of that? Because it's insane. It's hard for me.
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's something I've perfected over 16 months of doing this full time. So the best thing to do is go to Online Jobs PA, right? Get you a Filipino VA. Now the secret to that, I'll give you a secret. So when I first tried to hire these people, I would send out a resume, all right, and then they'd come back with a resume, and they'd have an English score. I think it's Online Job. Is it Filipino? Is it PH or PA? It's one of the two.
PH, I think.
Okay, PH. So yes, I mean it's very common online job for the Philippines. I recommend you hire this in-house because I've looked at a lot of other companies. A lot of other companies have reached out to me because they know I do cold calling, and they want an astronomical amount to hire a Filipino VA in your business. The last people, and these are big name people out in California, they wanted to charge me $20 per hour for one VA. They wanted, and this is upfront fees as well. They wanted like 2 weeks worth of upfront fees to hire this person on a mojo dialer. So on a triple dialer, okay, you don't get through a lot on a triple dialer, by the way. And they want to charge me $20 an hour to have that system. I don't know.
American, at least?
They are American.
Okay.
They are American. But I don't even know if that's not good to start off with. You better have some money in the bank if you want to drop, $2,000 up front and then $20 per hour after that for one cold caller. That's expensive. So I suggest that you spend the time, get an Online Jobs PH. This is the key. So you're going to pay them $5 an hour. You're gonna get the better ones that speak English, okay? And have them do a voice clip for you and send it to your email. So don't even look at the resume. You do want them, able to do like Mojo or some systems, right? You want them to have worked other times, but get like a 5-year to 10-year veteran, and then have them send you voice clips. So basically, what it looks like is, the next day when you go into your email, you're going to have like 60 voice clips and just hit play, 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 play. Put a star on your best 5. There you go.
Boom. Say that one more time, just so everyone understands that, because that's amazing.
And so the reason why I've dialed it down to that is because I was on the call with these people, right? And I would be on a call with these people actually trying to do a real job interview, and it would take days. It would take days. You'd be like, oh my gosh, this is like ridiculous, So the system that I implemented is, because you're going to get 80 applications. A lot of people come into this job, especially at $5 an hour. So have them do a voice clip, and you'd want to do a voice clip of hard words because, you want them to be able to get through those words on a cold call. And so, so that's the thing. That's what you should do, so that you have just a bunch of voice clips in your email box so that you can go through 50 voicemail clips within 10 minutes. Star the best 5 and then call them.
Wow. Okay. And virtual wholesaling always has 2 camps. I feel like it's people who say you can just lock up deals over the phone with the acquisitions people. And then there's people who like to live on the beach, kind of like you, but they like to actually have boots on the ground there that actually physically meet the sellers. What camp are you on when it comes to virtual wholesaling with the acquisitions people?
So when you say acquisitions, are you saying lock it up over the phone or lock it up in person?
Where are you at? Because I know virtual guys that say you should lock it up over the phone. And then I got guys that say you should have boots on the ground there to physically meet them in person. How do you deal with your business?
Both, right? Okay. Because I've got like 5 deals going on. Okay. And when I say 5 deals going on, I mean 5 properties that we're very interested in and that we're trying to get contracts for. I always say purchase agreement. No one likes the word contracts, by the way. So there's a key that I utilize in my business. Always say purchase contract.
Don't use the C word, guys. Please don't.
Don't use contracts. No one likes a contract. Use purchase agreements. So, it's according to every single deal. Now, I will tell you, I was just listening to you. the other day, and you
Oh,
said,
wow. Thank you.
yeah, of course, time is going to be a major factor in 2021. So,
Oh, yeah.
perfect example. So there's a deal in Wilmington, North Carolina right now, and I just walked the property. He had a lockbox on it. His ex-wife, lived in the property with him. It's a terrible property. They're no longer married. He still has the property. It's vacant with a 6-figure spread.
Woo.
125 is worth 235.
Oh,
right?
my gosh. What's going on there?
Yeah. So I had my realtor, my boots on the ground, walk the property. I called him back and I said, I want the property for 235. Let's go under contract. He never answered me back yesterday. So I called him. I do a triple tap. So I call him, I leave a text, and I leave a voicemail all on the same day. Okay. So he finally got back to me. He said, I didn't know this market was so hot. I had 2 other people give me a call, and I'm not signing anything until they get back to me. Right. So time, and you just said it. You're like, man, if you don't get these things locked up within an hour of you finding the deal, people are going to be calling him, and people did call him.
Yep.
Okay. People did call him, and now that's just one deal, and we're dealing with that. So, I mean, what can I do? This is the thing too in wholesaling. This is what I do. This is how I maintain my sanity in this business. I try my best on every deal, and I leave it at that.
Yep. Put it all on the table.
I try my best on every deal, and and then I just get better, right? So I can't push someone to sign anything. I can't, it's his house, and he's only with me over the phone. So, I can't, hey, you have a purchase agreement in your inbox and you have 5 hours to sign it, or I'm not going to buy the house from you. I don't think that strategy is a little bit too pushy. I don't know if it's going to work well. So, so that being said, that's kind of some of the stuff that I'm dealing with. So, you win some, you're going to lose some. But I think going into 2021, this is what I'm saying. Listen, ma'am or sir, after you built up some rapport and friendship, of course, a lot of my conversation is about 80% friendship, by the way. It's not about the deal, because people want to do business with, a friend. So I talk about military. I talk about, holidays. I talk about family. I talk about why they're wanting to move. So you want to build that friendship up. And so I kind of forgot where I was going with that. I guess I was rambling.
Well, you got to be a friend. I'm telling you right now. I've heard it. I had Cody Hoffman on the podcast. He says something that really blew my mind. It's something that I always thought of, but I never really put pen to paper on. And he always said, he's like, what would you do if your friend's grandmother passed away, and then her friend or the son or daughter came to you and said, what should I do with this house? Or it's someone you know. Would you say, how many bedrooms is the property? What's the square footage? You would never say that. You would say something like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry this happened. Can you tell me what happened? Is there anything I can do to help? You're a problem solver. And I'm telling you right now, solving people's problems and just being a helpful person and a servant, it is so valuable. It's the reason why I get most of my deals.
Huge, phenomenal. And so I'm doing a deal right now, and it's taken us 3 months to close. She's had like 5 liens on her property. And this is real stuff. And I'll tell you this, this is why I'm so good, because of the hard deals. That's what makes you a better acquisitionist. Not just talking to people. You can talk to people all day, but when you have situations that come up that need a letter of testamentary, and you know that because you've had past deals that the person hasn't passed away before 2 years, so you have to put it in the county newspaper, right, before you can close on that property. Or if there's a judgment on the property and it's a tax lien, and how much it is, and how long it's been on the property, and what you need to do to get this thing to close. I've probably done over 60 deals, and every single one makes you a better acquisitionist.
Yep.
So for sure, that's good. But be a friend and take blame. If you don't get that deal signed, just take blame for it. I mean, you know, I could have probably been a better friend to that guy and then been like, you know, like, hey, I got a crew of guys that I'm trying to get to work. You know, would you mind letting me close on this thing? I know you can close it with 10 different people, but I have a crew of 6 guys that I got to put a meal on the table, and we're going to Christmas time.
That's it.
You know, let's do some business. That's a closer. That's your acquisition is closing right there.
I'm telling you right now, it's different. If you guys go watch The Wolf of Wall Street, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. We're not selling stocks. We're not stockbrokers. Remember, Jordan Belfort went to jail. He pressured old ladies into buying half their net worth into crazy stocks. He was pushing. So, yes, you can watch that movie. It's cool. It's nice. But we're not pressure salesmen here. And I love selling, but the best way to sell is not to sell. I would 100%.
100%. 100%. And, you know, I do this every day in my business. I straight up tell people now that I just want to create a win-win situation. I want you to be happy. I want me to be happy. And if we can come to an agreement in the middle, let's go to close and make a smooth transaction. You know, and so that, and I'm, you know, walking a property that he probably wants 130. It's worth 205 in Jacksonville. And that's how I'm gonna do it. One thing I'll tell you that changed the game for me and created bigger spreads is my average spread was like probably 2,500 to 7,500 my first 6 months. Now they're like 10 to 20,000.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I have a board in the other part of my office, so I keep track of my profits when I'm closing, how long they were on market for, and everything like that. And so you can see them, you know, go from, you know, low, and then boom, they just start getting bigger. And it's called getting the fish in the boat. And so what that is you can say, after you build rapport and stuff like that, you just say, listen, you know, I just closed on a house the other day ago. I have the cash on hand to buy my next investment property. But I'm a small-time investor. I'm a local real estate investor. I don't have all the money in the world. But I am looking for my next property. All right. And I got the 60,000 cash to buy your property now, and I can do a 10-day close. So instead of just saying, and so, because it was hard for me to get them down.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was hard for me to get them down in price. So instead of saying, what do you want? And then negotiating price, I just say, I just sold a house. You're talking with a cash buyer right now. Okay, I can close on your property in 10 days, but I only have $60,000 to allocate to my next property. That cuts all the negotiation out. So they know they're talking to a cash buyer. They know that I only have a certain amount, and I'm small time, and I'm local. Let's do some business with a guaranteed close. That's
Easy as
that easy as that. You know, that cost me $5,000. That probably cost me about $8,000 to learn, by the way.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, we're bringing everything here on Flip with Rick. Guys, if you're getting any value out of this, please comment below any questions you got for Ryan. Like this video, subscribe, comment something. Helps more people learn the stuff. We can hopefully save some people from some of these crazy gurus out there. But yeah, my next question here is we're kind of go over, we got the marketing set. We know the acquisitions. When it comes to an acquisitions person, though, are you looking to have someone in North Carolina? Or are you having a VA? How is the acquisitions person? What's the whole systems around that?
Yeah, acquisitions is in-house. I like to hear every single conversation because when you're training up an you know, my acquisitions manager right now, you know, it took me about 2 months full-time to train him. You know, and I train him on every phone call. I was training him today, you know.
You're in Florida?
Yeah, we're in Florida.
In
yeah.
your office. Okay.
Yeah, in my office, yeah. I like to keep acquisitions in-house. And so what I do is, you know, everyone's different, you know, and so I give him a percentage of every deal that he sells. So he's straight commission, 1099. And so yeah, it took me 2 months to train him on how to acquisition a deal. And like I said, there's so many deals you learn on every single one. Like the reason why I brought up the letter of testamentary is because we have a deal that we're doing and there's 5 heirs on the property. And their father just passed away less than a year ago.
Oh, wow.
So if we go to close and we didn't know that that letter of testamentary was needed to get put in that county newspaper, which has happened, the day of closing, right? And sometimes your real estate attorneys, which I've found, don't do their proper, work that's needed. They'll let you know we can't close on this property, and then so that's just about being better, becoming better, and learning all this stuff. All the ins and outs of the real real estate investing. I mean, I'll tell you this. A lot of deals fall through for whatever reason. A lot of deals fall through. A lot of deals that you think are going to close don't close. A lot of closings get delayed. I mean, the last 4 closings I've had have gotten delayed. For what reasons? There was Thanksgiving break. There was we wanted to change a double closing into just a straight assignment. The attorney's office got backed up. There was a reverse mortgage that was still on the title that didn't have anything on the mortgage. It just wasn't recorded with the county. Mm. That's real business. This isn't just like, I got a wholesale deal. All right, I just made $10,000. That's real business. So, one thing that I would like to do is come on here and say, this is what I would do. The reason why I'm still in this business is because I like it. I like wholesaling. I like building relationships with other people. Okay, that's really what I want to do. I want to probably be a coach one day, and travel the world and be a philanthropist and write another book. And those are all big goals of mine. But I do this business because I love it. Not everybody's gonna love wholesaling. There's a million different businesses out there that people are making good money in. I mean, just think about it. Okay, take wholesaling out of the situation. Look at insurance agents. Zach, have you ever tried to sell insurance?
Nope.
I haven't, and I don't think I would want to. Nope. Can you make a lot of money as an insurance agent?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What about car sales? There's a lot of people who make a ton of money selling high-end cars. El Patron, I watch him all the time. He drives like a McLaren, and he sells cars. So what I would do is I would get into this business and see if you like it. Yeah. If you like it, then grow it, because the key to success is doing what you love, because you never work a day in your life.
It's absolutely true. I'm telling you right now, you always got to think about like this. Like, hey, if you're going to make $1 million in a business, but you're just going to make $1 million flat, you work 40 hours a week, would you love making $1 million per year net profit selling real estate, wholesaling real estate, selling staples, selling headphone equipment? Like, what would really get you going? Teaching people. And honestly, like if I had to sell cars, like I'm not a car guy. I got a regular pickup truck just because I do a lot of flips and wholesales. And honestly, that's it. I love real estate. I can go for hours talking about real estate. I know you can too, Ryan.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I absolutely love this business. So it's changed my life. I think it changes a lot of people's lives, but I don't know where I was going with that. But
we've just nailed down why it's an issue to take $5,000 to $10,000 from someone who hasn't done the business, because you don't even know if that person will like it. True. So how can you go to somebody and multiple people, let's say 20, 30, 40 people, because the fallout rate of someone paying you $5,000 to $10,000 and not having a work ethic is very high, by the way. So, you're going to people and you're saying, give me $5,000. I'll teach you something that I don't know if you like or not.
Yeah. I'm
so
it's the work ethic, man.
So, and this is the thing though, is I don't want to come across as gurus don't have their place, because they do. I pay for a lot of information, but do it on your own first for a few months. That's the key. Do it on your own for, you can get all the information on podcasts. And there's one out there, Steve Trang.
Love Steve.
Yeah, Steve Trang is 100% legit. He wants to create 100 millionaires. He has the top-notch people on his podcast, just like you do. And those people just lay bombs, like nonstop golden nuggets. So, you know, to the person that before you spend the $5,000, go and drive for dollars. Go get on a cold caller. Because I'll tell you what, I've been doing this for 16 months. Guess what I did for 4 hours a day?
What?
Cold call.
Nice. I love it, man.
I like what I do. And I'll tell you this. I don't know if this helps you out or not, but when you're on a dialer, the thing is to get through the list. Okay. I don't say, hey, ma'am, I know this call is out of the blue, but I'm looking for the owner of 123 Pelican Street in Durham, North Carolina. Are you the owner by chance? Say that 400 times and let me know if you're tired or not, and if you're going to do it the next day. So this is my line. And I ask 2 questions, and then I'm gone. Okay. Hello, how are you doing today? Sir or ma'am. I'm respectful. And I don't say sir or ma'am if I don't know who it is, because sometimes you mess that up and then you ruin it. They'll be like, I'm not a ma'am. And you're like, well, I ruined that phone call.
Oh
so
yeah.
I say, good afternoon. How are you doing today? And then they say, that's out of the blue, right? So you have to come across tonality, and you actually have to care what they're going to say. That's the secret. Okay. Good morning. How are you doing today? You're going to say good, or you're going to say okay 90% of the time. Then you follow up question. So it's only 2. How are you doing today? And do you have any properties? I say this. I'll only take but a second of your time. So you pre-stage the conversation. Okay. I'll only take up a second of your time. Are you interested in selling any properties that you might own? That's it.
Wow.
That's it. Because, when we skip trace a number, we get 8 numbers. Okay. And a lot of times those owners are older. So they have cousins. They have people that are older that have cell phones. Okay. I do deals all the time that they're like, well, I don't have any property for sale, but my cousin does. Or I don't have any, or they'll say, yeah, I do. And they'll say 1842 South Main Street. And I'll look up what address comes up, and it's not even the address we had.
Wow.
And then you can get through 400 calls within a 2-hour period of time just by asking those 2 questions. And I'll say this too. You don't get all the craziness. You don't ask them questions for them to flip out on you, because that takes a toll too on cold calling, by the way. If you hear 10 people say, F you, screw off, or give you these crazy things, it affects your mental state. So by 100% controlling the conversation while you're on the phone and getting through that list as fast as humanly possible, you'll get to your $20,000 deal quicker.
Definitely. You've probably figured this out. I've been cursed more times in a month than I think anyone has in their entire lifetime. Cold calling like crazy.
And I'll tell you this, though. If you use my script, you know what you can do? As soon as you hear a tonality, I listen for tonality. As soon as I hear a high pitch, I literally hit not interested, and I'll never call them again.
Yep.
And so I can get through, within a 2-hour period of time, I can talk to 140 people or more and get to that yes, because those people are out there. And the last cold call that I did, I made $17,500. And that was from using that script and sitting in my office and saying, and I play Golf Clash, by the way. So I sit here with my feet up. All right. I look out at a pond. I have a pond view. And I sit back and I literally say, good afternoon, ma'am. How are you doing today? Are you interested in selling any properties that you might own? No. And I already pre-stage it on my computer to be hit not interested, because 90% of people are going to say no or have some crazy answer. And then you just hit double tap, click, click, next. And that's how you get through the noise.
I'm telling you, cold calling is going to make a comeback this year. I think texting has really been overused a lot. And I think cold calling is making a big comeback. You know, the companies are starting to really crack down on it. Texting's still amazing. Hey, I'm getting deals on it, but I'm telling you, cold calling, a lot of people have just kind of swayed away from it. It used to be the rage 2 years ago. Now that last year it really wasn't, and it's kind of coming back. I mean, what are your opinions on that versus SMS? Because I know you do both.
I do both. I love text. You know, this is the thing. All right. So we got to look at a business here. We're talking a little bit more in depth here now. We're talking about building a business. And what is business? What's the number one problem small business people have? And what I mean by small business people is people who don't have a business. People who don't have a background, who haven't read 25 books on business or has had people in their past and spent the money on business owners. That's what you're trying to get to. The number one problem, and I'm going to quote two people, all right, Mark Evans and Grant Cardone. All right, Grant Cardone says the biggest, look at that 10X, there's a 10X sign back there.
Oh yeah.
You know, I went to a few growth conferences, which are absolutely phenomenal. Just don't spend your money there. Like it's a buying trap. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go there for the content and then leave. So Grant Cardone says obscurity. Obscurity is the number one problem for small businesses. Okay. So that means people don't know about you. So get out there and get known. Okay. So that's being proactive, cold calling. Hey, I'm Ryan Saxman. I'm ready to buy a property in the area. And then the other one is systems. Okay. So consistent marketing. And you said this. So, you know, it's, you know, iron sharpening iron. That's what it really boils down to when you have two people in the room. And not to sway from this. So what it is consistent marketing. Come up with a marketing plan. If you want to send out 2,000 texts per week, send out 2,000 texts per week, but don't stop on the third week. Okay. You keep going for 12 months. That's how you land these big deals. And that's how you learn the business. Then you can scale that because you will have the data. You won't have a guru's data. You won't have some guru's data that's out in Houston or out in California or out in Tampa or out, because every single market is different. My KPIs, my key performance indicators are going to be 100% different for my areas, my counties in North Carolina than it will be for Tampa, Florida. I can promise you that.
Oh, geez. I'm sorry, but Tampa's a lot tougher than North Carolina.
You know, so get into a market, grow slowly. Okay. Listen, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. And I've had issues with this. You know, we live in an age where, you know, you have Amazon. You can get anything you want literally at the click of the button. So what happens is, to young entrepreneurs, we see people with Ferraris. We see people with that have been in the business for 15 years. We compare ourselves to the people with planes. And we're like, why are we even doing this? Well, let's look at them in their first year of business. Do you think I would have even known Grant Cardone if he was 30 years old now?
Nope.
He's got 35 years of hustle under his belt. And now we just started hearing about him 4 years ago, 5 years ago, you know? So my biggest thing is, you know, don't get diluted and diluted into real life. Don't look at social media. Don't look at all the cars. Don't look at all those people. I mean, you know, what's crazy is a lot of gurus have been found out to be absolutely fake. You know, I mean, I'm gonna call him out right here. Dan Bilzerian, he lost over $50 million last year, and he was the number one influencer on Instagram with over 40 million followers.
Oh, he's crazy.
Top notch right there. That's the number one, and he lost over $50 million last year. So us as small business owners, we see stuff like that, and it really messes with our head. So if I could have any advice, give any advice to the people out here watching this and help them, look, it's okay to grow slow. And that's real life, by the way, and you want to grow slow. and this is a prime example. If I gave you $50,000, you never did a wholesale deal before, and you spent $10,000 on texting and $10,000 on cold calling, that $20,000 would go out the window because you don't have anything to beta test it on. So the way to actually grow a business in real life is slowly, so that you can acquire your own data and then grow your own data accordingly. That's the way to grow a business.
Definitely. I mean, comparison is the thief of joy. You figure that out quickly. It's absolutely amazing. The one thing I do have to say though is, I mean, Ryan does have a very fast car, but it took him some time to get there, but he's got a pretty cool car. So
Thank you.
So
yeah, I do. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask Ryan a couple more questions here, but then it's not me anymore. Then it's time for you guys. So comment below your questions for Ryan. It's extremely hard to get in front of, like, now with this pandemic going on, it's hard to get in front of people or meet people who are like doing actual deals. Ryan's not going to go live all the time. I mean, he's got a business to run. But if you could ask Ryan a question and really help you solidify your virtual wholesaling business, ask him a question right now. Guys, please, again, like this video, subscribe, comment something, just a hello. It'll help us bring more people on. Right now, this is the most people I think we've ever gotten on a podcast, because Ryan's legit and he's legitimately spitting gems out for everyone here. So comment below your questions. But Ryan, my last two questions here. If you wouldn't mind sharing, what are some of your KPIs in your business right now?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I don't mind sharing. They're kind of high. You know, so that it might not, you can reverse engineer my numbers.
So wait, you're not going to give me a guru and give me some fake KPIs. You make $10 million and you spend $4. You're going to give me real numbers here?
Yeah, I'm going to give you real numbers. I'm going to give you real numbers. This is from my knowledge, okay? And I'm in North Carolina. And so my market it's not super competitive because I stay out of Charlotte and I stay out of Raleigh.
Yeah.
Those numbers are going to inflate your cost per deal, okay? So texting and cold calling is going to be your cheapest way to get a deal, okay? All right, because you're being proactive. You're putting in the work, all right? So there's a difference between being reactive and proactive, all right? So proactive is you're actually going out there and hunting. That's what I like to do, because when you send direct mail, you're being 100% reactive. Yep. All right. So if you get a 2% response rate on 1,000 pieces and you get 20 pieces in the mail, you're being reactive to those leads. Okay. So I like to be proactive and go get 20 leads myself from today and tomorrow, because I'm going to be on a cold calling system and I have people cold calling for me. So I like to have a proactive business. So real quick, KPIs, you know, I'm seeing probably lead wise, 1 in every 25 leads are a deal for me. My average deal size is around 10 grand, you know, 10 to 15,000. All right. Average deal size. And so what I'm looking at in texting is probably about 1 in every 5,000 texts that I send out, I'm probably going to get a deal. Okay. So 1 in 5,000 texts, I'm most likely going to get a deal. And then for cold calling, you know, probably I track by dials. And so we do about 150,000 dials per week. And that'll probably get us a deal.
Woo! Wow. It's a lot of dials.
It is a lot of dials. It is a lot of dials. So yeah. So, I mean, you know, if you do, I would say 5,000 to 10,000 texts per week, and you know, you're on the phones probably about 8 hours a day, hire that out, you know, and get someone in there for 40 hours per week, you're probably going to be averaging on average a deal a week. And I can pretty much go to bat on that one.
Yeah. And how much do you think it costs you to get that deal a week?
So texting right now costs me about $700 per month. All right. Okay. So $700 per month, and I'll probably pull, you know, a deal or two out of that for sure. And so that's $700. And then cold calling costs me like, you know, 3 VAs, 40 hours a week, 5, you're talking about 200, 600 a week, 600 $4,800 per month. So you're looking at like $5,000 per month, and that'll probably get you 4 deals.
Yeah,
So honestly, my average deal cost around the board is around $1,500 to $2,000 to get a nice deal.
that's absolutely amazing numbers here. And my last question for you before we kind of help for that, you ask the people the questions. Well, they ask you the questions. In your 16 months in real estate wholesaling, what is your largest wholesale deal you've ever gotten?
Good question. Well, it would have been $37,800, but COVID happened. The first week of COVID, I lost that deal. We were actually going to close. We were going to close 5 days into COVID. I mean, just shit hits the fan. I mean,
I remember that.
Conspiracy theories. And they were like, you can't do this. This is going to happen. The government's going to fall down, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we didn't know what was going on. So literally that was a $37,800 deal that it fell through. My largest, I'd probably say would be like $27,900. You know, and that was like a 6-home package deal in Monroe, North Carolina.
Nice.
And I just closed on a $20,500 deal. It was actually $22,000. But we gave the realtor $1,500 because she brought us a buyer. So that's another one too, right there. Collaborate with realtors and other wholesalers, because you know they'll make you money. So yeah, 20,500 was like a few days ago.
That's amazing, man. Again, when talking about deals and those questions, that's weird because I do $40,000, $50,000 deals, but I can't do a deal a week like that every single week like Ryan's doing. It's just different markets everywhere else. So if you hear a guy bragging about he's doing 50 deals a month, but they're making like $3,000 a deal, or you got guys like Ryan, like it's all over the board, guys. So don't think that you have to be at Ryan's level within 16 months. You don't have to be at my level in 4 years. It's honestly, it's a race against yourself. It's not a race against other people.
100%. And that's beautiful. You know, you're living your own life. Honestly, I say get off of social media, you know, find out what works for you, get your own data going, and then grow accordingly with your bank account, you know. And like I said, it's not what you make, it's what you save. All
right. So Mark Jeffrey, let's go help the people out here. Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm telling you, everyone's on here. They wanted to learn from you. Everyone's sick of hearing from gurus, like they just want to hear something real. And I think this is why it's really cool. Everyone can hear us. What's up? What's up? Let's see. Okay. So Mark Jeffrey asks, Mark's been commenting a lot. Thanks, Mark. At what point should you hire an acquisitions manager?
All right. So, you know, I learned that people hire too soon. Okay. I even hired too soon. Right. But like I said, I don't make excuses. I just say I make money. I don't try to sound like bullish or anything, but whatever. So, you know, so this is the thing is, when would I want to hire an acquisitions manager? Okay. I want to hire an acquisitions manager when I'm bringing in leads. Okay. Because that's what keeps them busy. And you don't want your acquisitions manager on a triple dialer or, you know, a dialer. Which is great to do in the downtime, but to really grow a company, you want to hire an acquisitions manager when you can probably get them about 10 leads a day.
Okay.
You know, and I would say probably 10 leads a day on texting. You can do that. You can send out 2,000 texts a day per day, new texts, and get about 10 leads. So, you know, if you're going to use texting and send out, you know, because a lead is someone who has an off-market property that wants to sell now. That's a lead.
All right. And who are you using for your texting?
Lead Sherpa.
Lead Sherpa. They're pretty good. Let's see. Scott says, what's the website again? That's onlinejobs.ph right here.
Yep.
I think that's what he's asking. Hopefully he's asking that.
Yeah, and make sure to use the script. You type up the script and say, send me a voice clip via email. So you wake up with 40 new voicemails in your thing. And here's a key tip too. Hire 3 at once because only one's going to last the first week.
That is, yes. From my experience, that is 100% true. Lucian, I hope I'm not saying your name wrong. Ryan, what did it feel like closing your first deal?
You know, so I started out, I raised a lot of money in capital with private money lending, and I started flipping properties. So when I closed my first deal, Honestly, I have such big goals for myself and such big aspirations that I close on deals all the time. But I'm a visionary. So I'm always like, okay, I need to make 50 grand a month. I need to make 100 grand a month. So, I mean, and like I said, you find out that it's not a lot of money. I feel like a lot of people have been brainwashed, like 10,000 will change your life. I mean, if that was the case, my life would have been changed 16 months ago when I closed on my first wholesale deal, and then boom, it was rainbows from then on. I'm still hustling. I was on the cold call dialer for 4.5 hours today. Plus acquisition managers going on, plus deal flow going on, plus everything. So it's a hustle nonstop every day. But no, it does feel good. And I'll tell you this, momentum.
Yep.
That's a powerful word, and you need it because we're humans. And if you try for 4 months and you don't get a deal, it's humanly like almost impossible to keep going because you have no momentum. You don't even know if this thing works. So I'll tell you, it does work. And you don't want to stop, but build on the momentum. So when you get your first deal, hustle even harder. So then let's say it took you 6 months to get your first deal, but if you use texting and cold calling, I can promise you it won't take that. My acquisitions manager never did a wholesale deal in his life. He's been working for me for 2.5 months. He's done over 10 deals.
Wow.
By utilizing cold calling and texting and getting the fish in the boat by saying, hey, I just closed on a property. I got cash. I'm ready to close now. This is how I work. I send over a purchase agreement via electronic signature, via DocuSign, and you sign it. Then we get a walkthrough and we go to close. How's that sound?
Beautiful. All right. Jason says, what's up? What's up?
What's up, Jason?
Mark says, should you hire an acquisitions manager immediately once you have a certain amount of leads in the pipeline? What point should you consider? I think you already answered that question.
Yeah, so I would say 10 leads a day. So, I'm an acquisitions manager. I love talking, as you can see. So, once you can get 10 leads a day for yourself, right? That's what you can handle, and you're going to be doing deals 100%. And I will say this, when you got leads coming in, you got off-market leads, make money on your leads. So if you have an off-market property, right, that's gold. Find a realtor in the area, send him that lead, get them to list it, and you get a 25% lead commission fee when he closes on the property. So if you're doing 10 leads and you haven't done that at all, that's a source of revenue that you can be doing that you're going to be growing your income stream.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I want to say, I feel like I'm doing a disservice because we're talking about cold calling a lot. Ryan knows that time is very valuable. Ryan, what do you do when you have an old lady who rambles on and she's going to ramble for 30 minutes? What do you do?
Okay, so what I used to do is I used to just ramble on for an hour with her.
Yeah.
To build that relationship up. So what you want to do is acquisitions. When your acquisition skills grow, for one, you take blame for every single thing that happens. That conversation, if they curse you out, guess what? It's your fault. If that conversation lasts 45 minutes and you don't close the deal, guess what? It's your fault. What I started doing, I stopped saying pause words, or I'm sorry, fill words. So those are oh, let me think. I just stopped saying that. And then I dictate the conversation. I literally dictate the conversation even when I'm on a cold call. Like I said earlier, I only say, how are you doing today? And are you interested in selling any properties? If not, then so you dictate the conversation. So what I do is I build a rapport, but then I say something like that. You can put a fake time constraint on the conversation. Oh, listen, Marjorie, I love talking to you. But I actually have a meeting in 15 minutes and I have to get there. I have to leave my office and go. But I love talking to you and I want to continue this conversation. Okay. So I literally dictate the whole conversation and what we're going to do after the conversation. That's
Great.
huge. Okay. So you say, I have to go. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out this purchase agreement. I'm going to send it over to you via electronic signature. It's going to be in your inbox within 10 minutes. Okay. What I'm going to do is if you don't sign within about 2 hours, I'm going to give you a call back. And then we're going to go over the agreement together. Does that sound good? Thank you, Marjorie. You have a blessed day. I'll talk to you soon.
I'm telling you, you just saved probably 500 hours off of people's lives just by saying that. I've done. It took me a while to learn, but absolute gems. Carl says, do you prefer a male or female acquisitions manager?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Carl. And I've had all these questions. And I'll tell you what, it does not matter. You know what matters is someone that can be relatable, someone that can be real. Because when you're buying houses over the phone, I mean, that's a big skill. That's why we get paid big money. I mean, who can be on the phone and get an agreement signed for a house at $60,000 in equity, right? Below market value. We are acquiring a skill, and just like Zach said earlier, it's a muscle. If I don't get on a cold call for a week, I get rusty. I get scared. I don't want to. I get like stage fright. I just, for some reason, something in me, I don't want to get on the phone again. Right? So it's a muscle. And I don't care how good you are, you need to continually to work on it. But no, it does not matter about a female or male acquisitionist, because I've done tons of deals. I stopped counting at 60. Like, I don't even know, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be financially. So that's why I'm a visionary. I keep going. Right. Mm-hmm. But I will say this is my thoughts on it. I have a male acquisitionist, and he's a killer on the phone. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. I will say this. If you're dealing with a male who's wanting to sell a house and they're older, they probably would like to hear a woman's voice. But I will tell you this, the last cold call that I did, and I made $17,500 off of a cold call, he was an old man, and I'm a male. So I'm going to say it doesn't matter at all.
It truly doesn't. But I do think I've known some killer women out there. They're absolutely doing it. If you think it's your gender, your age, or anything that's stopping you, it's not. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I know people that have very thick accents and they were born in different countries. They're absolutely killing it out here. It doesn't matter. Honestly, it's just the will that you have to actually do it. Let's see here. Fat Mata Chroma asks, what is a good dialer? What's the one that you use?
Yeah, so, I really didn't even want to say it, really, to be honest, because I'm not all about giving out my secrets. I'm going to be real. I'm in the business, right? But I will tell you, Zen Call. Zen Call is a platform that is for cold calling. I can dial, 12 dials, at the same exact time, and have 3 cold callers going. And it's a numbers game. So, I want something that's going to dial 12 lines at one time. I don't have time for 3 lines or less at one time, for me personally.
I'm telling you right now, I've never been excited about a real estate software in my entire life because I was old time 3 years ago, Mojo triple line. I was like, I can do 3 lines. The day I found out that Zen Call let you do 12 lines, it was the most exciting thing I've ever seen in like an entire month. I was so pumped up. I'm telling you, unfortunately, Ryan, it's not a secret. I've been screaming about Zen Call forever. I think they're absolutely amazing, but yeah, their customer service is amazing too. I mean, I got nothing but good things about them. Call tools is good. We got some more people saying that. Eddie wants to know what you're doing. You're doing that. Mark, for everyone in the chat, Zach has a great video on selecting market virtually. Thank you so much, Mark. What's Ryan's thoughts about VA's cold calling?
Virtual assistant cold calling. This is a great question. This might be going longer than possible, but I love talking about real estate. So this is the thing with VAs is, like I said, you want to hear scripted VAs in your inbox with leaving voice scripts. Okay. All right. And then what you want to do is you want them to sound as American as possible. Okay. And that's it. They'll get you leads. I mean, they'll get you leads. I mean, I use in-house Filipino VAs, and everything else I stopped listening to.
All right. It's true. And let's do a quick speed round. The problem is, Ryan, that you've provided so much value. There's a lot of people on here, more than usual. So
listen,
they're literally giving all these questions. It's amazing.
I'm a giver. and I want everyone to succeed. There's more than enough money to go around. I'll tell you this, you know, it's a mindset thing, and you need the momentum to keep going, right? So once you establish that momentum, then you establish, it's all mental. Life in general is all mental. I can wake up, and I'll tell you what, if I don't have a good morning routine, I'm like unhappy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much money I have in the bank. It doesn't matter if I just closed on a $30,000 deal. If I don't wake up and I, you know, go read a book, go, you know, say, thank you, God, for this beautiful world. And thank you, God, for my breath. And thank you, God, for my health. I mean, my regular human brain kicks in, and it's like, oh, you don't have this, you're unhappy. Oh, you could have this better. I just went and bought this watch, and I'm not any happier. Like, and that's my human brain playing tricks on me. So save your money. Don't go out and spend it. This is my, you know, you can do what you want, but it's not going to bring you happiness. Have a good morning routine, you know, and just try to be happy and give back in life. That's true happiness.
It is. I'm absolutely agree with you. I mean, any day above ground is the best day ever to be alive. But it's all about perspective, because I could be upset. Maybe you'll lose a deal here and there. But I think about it where I was 3 years ago, $300 in my bank account, scrubbing toilets at a grocery store. I would be praying for having the situation I was in now. And I think you would too, right?
100%. 100%. I mean, man, you know, I was on antidepressant medication living in Kodiak, Alaska, where it was dark all day for months.
Jesus.
When you don't get no vitamin D, you realize that your body needs it, or you go into depression. So, you know, now I'm living in Clearwater, Florida. I have a place of business because I've never had a plan B. That's the thing. And I wish I was, you know, I've been doing this for kind of like 3 years, and I just got into wholesaling 16 months ago. But, you know, if I, you know, started looking at all these other gurus and stuff, I'll get sad real quick, because I'm like, man, I could be driving a Ferrari and living in a mansion, but, you know, I haven't grown that fast, you know? So that's the thing. Like, you know, I'd say, and that's like the 1% anyway. That's like the people who look at business. I mean, look at people like Mark Cuban, the billionaires of this world. That's, if you take it smaller, not everybody's a millionaire in wholesaling. So it's like, you know, create a really nice life for yourself, which you can. And it's way better than working for someone else. And then just focus on being happy and loving and giving back to your family.
Definitely. Let's see. Jay asks, where do you find reliable boots on the ground? You were talking about with a realtor.
That's a great question.
Property, yeah. That's
a really good question. So, and I like that car, by the way. I think that's like a Bentley or something like that.
That's probably a Bentley.
It is a Bentley. I can see myself riding that one day. So this is the thing. Where do I find them? All right. So friends. All right. So if you have any friends in the area, ask them. Who I pay people $50, all right, to do walkthroughs for me. And so if someone's going to do a walkthrough of a house for me, I give them $50. All right. So, and that's from a friend. So if you have anybody, if you don't, this is what I do. I go on Zillow. All right. And I look up realtors. Now, this is the key. They have reviews. All right. The more people have reviews, the busier they're going to be. So don't call them, because they're not going to have time to do your walkthroughs for you. What you want is you want a young hustler. Okay, so you want a young real estate agent that's professional, that's been in the business for about 2 to 3 years, that has about 45 reviews. Okay. On Zillow, and their number's on Zillow. And there's a Facebook link that they're going to have their number on. And any good realtor that's in the business, you'll be able to easily get in touch with them. Okay. So that's what you do. Then you call them up. All right. And then this is the first question I ask. Are you investor friendly? Because a lot of realtors don't like wholesalers.
Nope. Hate them.
They do hate us. All right. And I stopped investing in real estate for 6 months because every realtor I talked to said I was going to go to jail. if I get into creative real estate investing or if I do wholesaling. I'm going to jail. And I even hired lawyers. Okay, this is where I come from. I even hired lawyers and stopped investing in real estate because I thought I was going to lose my Coast Guard career. Because that's the last thing I needed was me doing something on the outside and them calling the Coast Guard up saying this guy's doing illegal stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's what I do. And then I say, hey, are you investor friendly? Right? Do you work with wholesalers? If they say yes, say, listen, I'm doing a lot of deals in the area. Okay. And if you're not, just say it, whatever, it's fine. Because you're going to be, and mindset's everything. So say I'm doing a lot of deals in the area and I get a lot of off-market leads. This is what I need. I need someone to walk the houses for me and maybe get some purchase agreements signed. I pay you $50 every time. And if I can't do business with them, I'll send that off-market lead over to your cell phone via text, and you can list. And if you don't mind giving me a 25% fee on top of that, how does that sound? 100% of the time, you just gained a new best friend.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And this is a thing too. Virtual wholesaling, I always get other people involved. You want them to feel very comfortable with you. So this is what I do. I dictate 100% of everything in my business virtually. Okay. Did that sound weird?
It's amazing. No, it's what's wrong here. You're living the dream life. You're living on a beach, just getting checks here and there. I mean, that people want to live the life you have. And obviously you're not where you want to be because you got crazy, amazing goals. But if you can help people get there, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, you're living the virtual lifestyle though.
So this is it, man. You dictate everything. And if you don't take blame and you don't dictate everything, then you need to get better. And that's okay. That's where you want to be. You want to be somewhere where you need to get better. So if you're like, oh, I messed up on this deal. How did you mess up? How will you not do that again? Okay. So this is how I dictate everything. All right. When you get off the phone with people, you tell other people that they're going to be calling them within a certain time frame to set up the walkthrough. Yep. Okay, so you name drop all the time. Listen, I'm going to have Hillary give you a call within the next 20 minutes. She's going to set up this walkthrough. We're going to set it up for tomorrow at what time worked best for both of you. How's that sound? So even when you're off the phone, you're giving them things to do. And then you're putting other voices, other professional voices on the phone, right? And you're dictating the whole situation. So now I don't even have to talk to them anymore, and I can get a purchase agreement signed because Hillary is going to bring a purchase agreement to them and get it signed.
Yeah.
So you're dictating everything. I mean, you don't leave anything to chance. You tell them everything that's going on. And when people do that, and when you say, so Hillary's going to call you in 20 minutes, and guess what? When Hillary calls them in 20 minutes, they know you mean business.
Ooh, man, that's amazing. Let's see here. Tiesa says, Ryan, are you only in the North Carolina market?
Yes. So another, I'll drop a bomb here. Mark Evans DM. I don't really talk to him much anymore. Just because I'm in my business. Yeah. I want to get into his mentorship one day. It's like $30,000 for a year. Him and Tim Bratz and stuff like that. Like I want to be in that group.
35 now.
Oh, it's 35. So, and so I might be in that group in maybe 2-3 years or something like that. You never know. So this is the thing. You go deep, you don't go wide. Okay. Because when I first got into wholesaling, you have big dreams and ambitions. And since you can do it virtually, you're like, man, I could be in Fayetteville. I could be in Wilmington. I could be in Jacksonville. And these are all counties, by the way. Oh, I could be in this county, this county, this county. I could do it all in North Carolina. So this is what you want to do is you want to pick one market. Okay. You want it to be over 250,000 people. Okay. And you want it to be middle income. That's where we make our money, by the way. We make it in middle income properties. So I always say like 70, if you're in North Carolina, 75,000 to like 250,000. Go up even higher, 350,000, right? And then that's it. You cap it off. You want to be in that middle income when you pull your lists. So go deep, don't go wide. I'm making all my money in like 3 counties right now.
Yeah. That's it. I can't say better myself. That's how I find out my virtual markets. Lushan says, I'm trying out your script, Ryan. Sweet.
Perfect. And so the script, yeah, that's a game changer. When I started hiring Filipino VAs, I don't want to hire people. Like, that's not what I want to do, and it's hard, especially Filipinos, because they're so like, yeah, I'll be there. No, I won't. Yep, I'll see you at 5. Oh, that one calls out. Oh, I set up. It's just it's a Charlie Foxtrot. All right, so that's a bad word or whatever, but it's a cluster.
No worries.
You don't want to deal with that. So the script is a game changer. And I'll tell you what, hire 3 because one will be there at the end of the week.
All right, Ryan, is it okay if in post here, after this is posted, again, guys, you can watch this on replay from some of the best podcasts. This is one of the best ones I think I've done. People are going to be watching this on replay like every single day, forever. Would you mind if I post that script you just said in the comments?
Yeah, I'll send it to you via email when we get off.
All right. Or yeah, it'll be in the comments as soon as I can, guys. So just copy, paste it, have your own one there. Let's see, another question I had, or boots on the ground. Mark says he uses Investor Fuel, integrates free SMS. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Wow. What does the lead flow process look like in texting and cold calling? How many VAs do you have, and what are they responsible for?
Okay, so what does your lead flow process look like in texting and cold calling? So I have an integrator. All right, so he does all the texting and he manages my VAs. Okay, so that, like I said, you want in a business, if you want to grow, I read a lot of books, and one of the best books I've ever read is Rocket Fuel. Rocket Fuel basically says, a visionary. So a lot of people get into business and then they're like, I can't be a business owner because I can't do everything. I'm not good at everything. You're not meant to be good at everything. Okay. I'm good at acquisitioning. I hate sitting on a computer and hitting a button 400 times because that's an integrator's job. All right. I'm the visionary. I'm the one saying, man, we could grow our company. We could do 5 deals next month. An integrator doesn't have that mindset, right? To be like, oh, let's watch our KPIs. Let's grow with 1 cold caller. Let's try to do 6 deals next week. Let's try to make our average profit 10K. Let's jump back out of deals quicker because we're learning more and faster, right? Off of every deal we do. That's the visionary. So Rocket Fuel really clarifies that. I mean, Jeff Bezos, we all know Jeff Bezos, all right? He only owns 11% of Amazon. Okay, so these people that we highly look up to that are the best in the world did not do it by themselves. Okay, so you do need to grow at some point. So that's, so he's the integrator. I'm the visionary. So I love to talk. I can talk all the time. So if that's your role, be okay with it. And this is the thing, though, when you're starting out, you need to do every single job there is because you're going to have to hire that out. You need to know what it is. You need to know, like, if someone's on a cold call for 8 hours, should they be getting a lead or not? Right? If you've never done it, how would you even know? You'd just be guessing. So that's why you need to do everything. Get on the texting, get on the cold calling, get on dispositions, get on acquisitions, right? Feel this out. So when you hire it out, you understand. So what my lead flow looks like is I have an integrator that does all the texting and all the cold calling management, right? Because the VAs need managing. How many VAs do I have? So this is the best thing to do. If you got a market and you got about 40,000 leads, get 2 VAs working 40 hours per week and work that list. I'm going to tell you why. Because if you get too many, they're going to go through that list very quickly. When you go through a list more and more and more, the percentage rate of that list goes down. So you don't want to kill that list. You don't want to call it so heavily. I've done that. I've had like 5 VAs on a list, and within 2 days, I went through it 11 times.
Wow.
It's not good, or that list is not good anymore. So what that is, so that you got to grow accordingly. And you're only going to learn stuff like that by actually doing it. I've never heard that from a guru. saying you can overdo your list with cold calling it.
No, I've never heard it.
I did like 2 weeks ago. I
Jeez.
actually did it. So that's why I say get 2 VAs per county, because they'll go through the list working about 40 hours a week each. They'll go through the list in about 2 weeks. Right. And so that's what you want. You want a smooth deal. You want something that you can keep going week after week after week after week. So maybe it takes you 3 months to go through the list 11 times, not like 3 days.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Jeffrey asks a interesting question here. He asked, if you have 3 VAs, why are you still doing some cold calling?
Because I make money at it.
That's it, baby. I love it.
This is the thing. So, all right, let's say I get 10 leads a day, and I qualify my leads very quickly, right? So I can get on the phone and go through 10 leads very quickly, right? So if they aren't leads, they aren't leads. So what am I going to do next? Well, I'm gonna do something that I can make some money on, and using my script that I use that I've never heard before, because I've been, hundreds of hours on a cold call dialer. If my last deal was $17,500 sitting in my office with my feet up, and I'm playing Golf Clash. So yes, I am going to be on the phone, and I'll tell you what too. A good business owner leads from the front lines. So if I have my acquisitions manager in the next room, and I'm not jumping on a Zen dialer, what is that showing him? If I say, let's stay till 5 today, which I do, because we're hard workers. So like, we're just finding something that we can maximize our time and money, but you still have to work hard. So I'm not afraid to get on the cold call. And you should be, because we all need to get better, and it's a muscle. So you need to be making those calls. If I don't jump on cold calls, and then when I get my 10 leads, I'm rusty. You don't want to be rusty when you're actually talking to the leads. You want to have an hour or two on the dialer system, because it warms you up. So then when you get on that call, you have tonality. And I'll tell you this, here's another good trick too. I have a trampoline in my office.
Oh, snap.
Tony Robbins. Because not just tonality, but body makeup. Your structure, your cell structures change when you bounce up and down, because you get more energy in your voice. So, and I'm not saying go get a trampoline, it'll make you a millionaire, but there are little things that you can implement, right?
Jumping jacks.
Before, honestly, I got mad at my acquisitions manager, because he came in and he was like, and this is real world stuff, by the way, this ain't no guru stuff. He was terrible on a cold call. And those are my leads. So I'm going to be like, whoa, what is going on? His tonality was down. He was lazy. He didn't get out of bed and have that morning routine. And he was like, hey, this is Gavin. I probably shouldn't call him out like that, but me and him are tight. So, but that's the thing. And I do it too. So yes, why am I still on cold call? Because I'm human, and you need to be.
That's it. Another tip I got for cold calling is listen to an awesome song. If I listen to Eye of the Tiger and then I go cold calling, I will be an absolute. You can't listen to Eye of the Tiger, in my opinion, and not want to just absolutely destroy it. There's some songs out there for people. It gets you going. That's one tip I can give too. It's like jumping jacks for me.
It is. Yeah. So, and just jumping on the dialer and talking to people, so within, 2 hours into the business, let's say you go eat lunch, you get back and you have 3 leads to call, you're going to be way better on those 3 leads than if you did not jump on a cold caller. Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Mark, his biggest 85 is in the Bay Area. Cool. TSA says close on a $375 deal and a $20,000 deal in the same week. That's awesome.
Nice.
I love it. The OEO, I'm saying your name wrong. I'm really sorry. How many times do you touch a lead before a deal?
Ooh, that's a great question. That is probably
bringing the heat today.
Best question. That's the best question I've seen. So, Thoyo, love it, man. I love it. So this is the thing. All right. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. You have to become a beast on follow-up.
Oh yeah, I love it.
There's no excuses. I'm talking about a beast. I don't care, and I will answer your question, but I'm taking it down to what it really is. You want these people pissed off at you.
Oh yeah.
If you're not getting people saying, why in the hell are you calling me for the 5th time today? Now I will say this. I mean, there's a caveat to everything. If there's a deal and they said, call me Tuesday, then call them Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a deal and they're not getting in touch with you, do a triple tap. So what that is you come into work, you send them a text in the morning, then you call them at lunch, and then you call them and leave them a voicemail at 5. Okay, so those are the 3 different methods that you can utilize to get in touch with someone in one day. So that's the triple tap. And then even in the evening, you can send a follow-up text. So it'd be 4 times and just say, hey, I don't want to bother you, but let me know either way if you want to sell, because we buy 3 to 4 houses per month and I don't want to take up your time.
Yeah.
So let me know either way. But how many times do I touch a lead before a deal? I really don't have that KPI, but if I had to guess, it varies. Some are like 1, some are like 10, some are like 12, some are 15. Sometimes it's not just crazy. Sometimes it takes us 3 months to close the deal. Sometimes we close the deal in 2 weeks. So it's just all over the board with wholesaling. But I would say on average, probably 7 times.
All right. I mean, bombs coming off right now. So I'm loving it. There's more and more people hopping on here. It's insane. I don't think I've ever had these many people, and it keeps climbing because I think people are sharing this. It's crazy. Awesome guys. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Mark's saying you got some great advice. I mean, people are loving this. Raina asks, how much will spend in education or mentoring?
So this is a little bit of a sore subject for me. And Zach probably knows sometimes I let it out on Facebook, and y'all are more than welcome to go and like me on Facebook and
Ryan Saxman.
Friend me on Facebook, Ryan Saxman. I think your network is your net worth. And when you surround yourself with good people, you just automatically grow. And I'll tell you this, that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned of 3 years of putting money and effort into me. The quickest way to get better is to put better people around you. And see, that's the hardest thing, because we have friends. We have those people that have been in our lives for 7 years. We have the qualifications of old friends. We probably have the same qualifications in high school and college as we do as adults by letting people in our lives. Change it. Change it. Once you change it, don't ever go back, and just let better people in your life. Because, for perfect example, I used to, drink. I used to drink a little bit, right? Once I got a girlfriend that don't drink, guess what? Automatically I cut out drinking. Like it wasn't even a
what
thing.
did it do for you?
Oh my gosh, it sharpened me that I've never sharpened before. I didn't even know it was that possible. So what, and I can only speak what alcohol does for me. It deludes my mental capacity. And even if it's at a little bit, that little bit will change the game. So when I get to work, it's like everything is clear as day. And I am so, productive throughout the day. And my speech is on point. When I go to do something, I just go and do it. Right? I can work till 5. I might work right through my lunch break. So if I have a morning routine and I'm not drinking, that's how you can build a business, because when you get better 1% each day for a year, you're 365% better. It's called compound effect.
Yep.
I believe it wasn't Sir Isaac Newton who said it was the best thing that man ever invented.
I don't know. I mean, it's true.
Compound interest. Compound interest. So you grow better. You get better at 1% a day. You get probably about 550% better each year. So that's what it is. So how much will you spend in education and mentoring? That's your bank account. You can either have a go all in method, like I did, and then kind of waste about $60,000 because you just go all in. That I don't advise. I don't advise doing that. I will tell you this, out of probably about $70,000 in mentorship over 3 years, I literally have 4 phrases that I live by.
What?
So, 70 grand I put into my mindset and training, and I live by 4 things. And that's it, a daily basis. And I'll tell you, so data, not drama.
Love
Okay.
it. Mark
Yep.
Evans.
Data, not drama. That's it. And you put me on the spot here. So let's see here. Oh, this is a good one. And it's right here on my board. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems.
Wow.
And that one I struggled with a long time, because I always thought that the reason why I wasn't reaching a certain success point was because of me. The only difference between, and I'll say this very loosely, but the only difference between me and Grant Cardone is the systems that he has in place. Okay, so let's say I woke up tomorrow and I had 400 people working for me, and I had about $100,000 in marketing spend going on. Do you think my life would be different? Would I be the same person? Yes. Now, I say that very loosely, okay, because that's a very drastic, thing to imply, because he's got 35 years of hard work under his belt as well. But, what's the difference between someone like myself and a newcomer? All right. Do they have 3 cold callers working 8 hours tomorrow each? And are they sending out 3,000 text messages every single day, every day? And I'm in the office 8 hours a day. So what's the difference between me and them? Systems. I still have flaws. I still am trying to better myself. I'm still trying to get better in girlfriends and boyfriends, and be a good father, and go to church, and be a patriot, and love my country, and be happy, and eat right, and everything. So it just falls to systems. So that's one thing that I follow.
Definitely. I looked it up. Albert Einstein had that quote. I put in the comments if you want to see it. That's how everyone that reads books, you hear a quote, you have it in your head, but you don't know who said it, but it's in there. Scott says, do you have a sample script? The script will be in the comments. Go to Flip with Rick on YouTube and look it up.
Yeah. And I will say this. So I'm going to send you all my script, but what I want you to do is I wanted to make it market specific. Okay. Yeah. So I'll send you my script, but go to a Word doc and type it out. It's short, right? But you want to make it market specific, because you want to hear what that cold caller says. Because let's say I'm in Burlington, you want to hear that cold caller say Burlington. Yeah. Because if they say Burlington, Berlin, or you don't want to hear cold caller. So local. Be local as possible. I can't stress that enough. Use local numbers. You're local. Do not have your cold caller say 123 Main Street in Graham, North Carolina, 28137. Because if you're local, they already know it's in Graham, North Carolina, 28137. So say 123 Main Street. That's all you need to say.
I've fired cold callers on the spot. They've said, Port St. Lucie, and it's it kills the deal. So
kills it.
That's big. Let's see. We got a lot of questions and comments here. Let's see. He doesn't like Zen call when it's connecting. Sam basically wants to know your type of list polling. And when he asked this question, I gotta go look. I got a surprise for you guys at the end here. So I gotta go check it real quick. But go answer that really quick.
Okay. All right. So Samuel, thanks for being on here, by the way, brother. 150,000 text messages a week. Are you just contacting everybody, pulling the whole county, not worrying about stacking, etc.? Yeah, so that's a great question. All right. So like I said, cold calling and texting is the cheapest way to market in wholesaling, and it's very effective. All right. I've grown a company that way. Yes, I blanket the county. And I pull my list from PropStream. I don't mess with ListSource. So I pull my list from PropStream. I'm county specific, and I want to deal with properties with equity. So I only do 50% greater equity. I don't deal with anything else. So 50% greater or equity, I blanket it. I do have property prices in there. So I do from my counties around 75,000 to 350,000, with about 5 years of ownership, because I do want them to own the property for some time, so that it can actually deteriorate, or tired landlords or whatever. So, I don't list stack. No, I don't. I mean, you could. I actually believe that you should list stack, to be honest. Zach, I mean, like I said, there's so many ways to make money in this business. So yes, you can list stack and then try to go after the people. But with texting and cold calling, you're going to talk to everybody anyway. So why put one more thing on your plate to have to worry about? Why don't you just buy the list, text them and cold call them, and then the deals will come through with consistent effort.
Dang, I can't find it. I'm trying to find. It's probably at my house. I got my copy of "Don't Be Normal, Be Unstoppable." I was trying to find it. I got the signed copy.
Oh yeah. Well, let me see. I don't even know. Oh yeah. Let me see. Oh yeah, right here. Yeah. So this is a copy of "Don't Be Normal, Be Unstoppable." I got like some mugs and stuff like that. So I don't even push this book because I'm trying to grow my company. And, one thing I've learned, so the lion right there, that's the logo I created. So that's my logo. And I actually got it on my arm. So I thought that was kind of cool. But one thing when I was early in business that I didn't realize is that you need to become good at one thing. So when you ask a billionaire how to become successful, right, and you have 5 ideas, they'll say drop 4.
Wow. That's huge. All right. So let's see here. Jeez, my goodness gracious. There's a lot of people on here. This is amazing. Love hearing him. He was dialing sweat equity. I know this business. Sweet. Lucian had to cancel my first contract because I didn't want to lose EMD and my cash buyer ghosted me.
All right. So Lucian. All right, I'm going to tell you what I do. All right, on your purchase agreement, okay, your earnest money needs to state that it's non-refundable. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. I've never put $500 down at a closing attorney's office.
Wow.
Ever.
Okay.
Ever. And I've done over 60 deals, and I think I've only done 2 double closings. Everything's been assignment. So no matter what you hear, all right, this is my business, and I've got a track record to prove it. I've closed on $20,000 deals, $27,000 deals. When you build a relationship with the buyer and you clearly state, let's say whoever's buying it, you say, hey, just to let you know, we buy 3 to 5 houses per month, and Helpful Home Buyers LLC is going to be helping me buy this property. And do you have a problem with that? So you're basically, like I said, you're dictating everything. So you're pre-staging them to see the HUD or the Alta statement. And once they see Helpful Home Buyers on that HUD, you've already told them it was already on it. I've never lost a deal that way. Never.
Yeah. It's always about pre-screening them. I agree. Looks like we got a good question here. Carl wants to know, have you ever closed any deals exclusively through text?
No. No, I've never closed a deal through text, because this is okay. So this is a great question. If you want to be successful in text game, you better have your acquisition manager call them immediately. Yeah. You'll lose that deal. So what I do is when I have my integrator texting, okay, this is a button we have in my office. We have a button. Okay. This is a button. I don't know if you can hear it. Let's see.
Yep.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It means I got a lead.
Ooh, now I like it.
All right. So if you want $1 million business, when you get a lead, you have 7 minutes to get in touch with that person.
Wow.
Time kills deals. All right. So if you want to work this business very well, every time you get a lead, you call them. Okay. I mean, is that worth a call? 10 grand, 20 grand? Definitely. So you want to call them and put a face to that text. And this is what I do also. So let's say I have, my integrator sending out a text and I'm using the name Bob. So I'll say, hey, Jared, this is Ryan Saxman, my assistant Bob, just sent you a text message and I'm giving you a call to follow up. How are you doing today? So now you're putting more people in place to make you sound more, what's the word I'm looking for, Zach?
Well, it's like, when the boss is there, you're dealing with the boss. It gives you more of a, I don't know, prominence, like, oh my gosh, I'm dealing with the legit owner.
Yeah, and you got to think about it. If you're a cash buyer and you're out here spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, you're a prestigious person. Okay?
Yeah.
So act like that. Hey, I'm talking with you now. I have the money to buy your house and fish in the boat. I just closed on a property down the street. I got the cash right now, and I'm looking for my next investment opportunity. So let's talk.
Boom.
Yeah. So now you just put yourself in a place of power to have that conversation. And now you're pre-staging that as well.
All right. And let's see. Wasim says, when you don't have a large buyers list, how long do you usually take looking for the highest offer from buyers?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And, we haven't even talked about a buyer's list, but that's huge. I've been working on my buyer's list for 16 months. I have a a buyer's relations specialist that literally we pull lists and she cold calls, and that's how we grow our buyer's list. But let's see here. So when you don't have a large buyer's list, which you don't need a large one, you need the right buyers, by the way.
Yeah.
How long do you usually take looking for the highest offer from buyers? So this is what I've realized. If you have a real cash buyer that's going to buy your property, they don't want to sit around and get outbid. They get pissed off. And here's another tip. Don't have multiple people walk your deal. I've had people literally get mad because they don't want to get in no bidding war. You got to realize these are people with the money. So they don't want to get, they live good lives. They don't want to get put in a position where they feel uncomfortable. So if there's 5 people that roll up to a house and 5 people that they don't know and 5 people that they know are going to be putting offers on this house, the good ones will leave most likely.
Yes.
I can promise you that. So when you have a good buyer, what you want to do is set up a walkthrough specifically for them. If you have a good deal, you only need 2 to 3 walkthroughs to sell that house.
Gems right there. I'm telling you. The other thing I can tell you about cash buyers in my personal experience, I don't know if it's been yours, Ryan, is let's say cash buyer A is going to pay you $150,000. Cash buyer B and C are at 120 and 110. If they all go see the property and cash buyer that's going to pay the 150 here's that B and C are going to pay 110, their price just went down 40K.
Yeah. And so I didn't really answer Wasim's question. It goes, how long does it usually take when I'm looking for the highest and best offer? So when you got a good deal, okay, so if you bring a real deal, guys, a real deal to the market, you should be able to sell it in 24 to 48 hours.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So 24 to 48 hours, that property's gone. That's how you know you got a real deal. And you priced it right. You're creating a win-win situation for the marketplace, which you get rewarded handsomely for. So, and that's the name of the business we're in. Okay. And I'm going to tell you this, when I first got into this, I would lock up anything vacant, because I thought that was a wholesale deal. And I spun my wheels for months trying to sell deals that weren't deals. Okay. So if you get 3 people that walk that property and they're like, there's no way I'd get my grandmother to buy this property, you should probably either try to renegotiate or get rid of that deal as soon as possible, because what that's doing is that's taking up your time. So you actually feel like you're being productive when you're not. So one thing that I've implemented into my business now is we go through deals very quickly. So if I get a deal, I get it under contract. Boom, we get a walkthrough. Boom, I get people to look at it. If I get feedback from it and the buyers that I have are like, you're crazy, Ryan. This thing has structural issues for days. It's going to cost $25,000 to fix up. I get right on the phone. I try to renegotiate. If I don't, I drop the deal. I move on.
Yeah. All right. And let's see. Dominic says, I really struggle with hiring good acquisitions manager. Any tips for him?
Oh, 100%, brother. Yeah, Dominic, I got you, brother. So you're struggling with hiring a good acquisitions manager. That's okay. That's okay. It's hard. Okay. What you want is a visionary. Okay. Because you need someone probably like yourself. If you're the business owner, you're most likely a visionary, because a visionary is someone who says, man, I could start doing wholesale deals. Man, I could do 5 deals a month. I could do 10 deals a month. I could be a millionaire. Guess what? You're a visionary. All right. So, and you're probably good at acquisitions. All right. So, and if you're not, then you want to, get someone that is good. So what you do is you don't need someone. I would say you probably want someone with a real estate background, because you're talking about houses, you're pulling comps, right? You're looking at properties, you're looking at single family homes, you're looking at locations, you're looking at if it's in the ghetto or not. And you want someone that you don't have to train too much, right? Because it took me 2.5 months to train my acquisitions manager, okay? And he's still with me today, and he's done like 10 deals in 2.5 months off of my training.
Ooh, love it.
Fire. That's fire. I don't even know who's done 10 deals in 2.5 months from coming from nothing.
Not me. Not when I started.
Not me either. So that's everything that I'm saying is right down to the point. What will get you the deal? Like me saying, don't spend all this time on deals that aren't deals, right? Move on. Spend your energy on acquiring another deal that's actually a deal so you can make money. So, you struggle with hiring a good acquisition manager. I go online to, what's that? It's a big time hiring platform.
Upwork?
No.
Upwork, Indeed.
It's Indeed.
Okay.
So I go into Indeed, all right, and I fill out a great resume or a great, form. There's a form you can fill out, right? And so what you want to do is let's just say you want to put them on 1099, 25% commission, okay? And I will tell you this, and I just learned this from a good friend. You probably need to pay them about $2,500 per month, because they're not going to do their deal for, a little bit of time. So they're not going to be making any money, right? So you need to say, hey, I'll pay you $2,500 this month, all right? But after that, it's going to be a 25% commission. So off of, he brings in $10,000, he gets paid $2,500. Okay. So that's that. All right. And then hire someone that has a background in real estate, but is a visionary. I'll tell you this. And I only know this because I hired somebody as an acquisitions manager, and they're great, and they're still in my company. The first day he walks in, I tell him about wholesaling. He's like, I've never heard of wholesaling, but this sounds amazing. And I see the vision. That's literally what he said, and he's still with me today. So if you get someone in here that just, because this is the thing, he's been, he's done 3 weeks with no deals, but then he's done 7 deals in 4 weeks. That's how the business works anyway. So if you don't have someone that can get through the 3 weeks of no deals, right, then they aren't going to last. So hire someone with a little bit of background, 25% commission. That's what I say. $2,500 the first month, because they probably won't do a deal. And he's probably been longer. He's been with me for about 3.5 months.
Yeah.
Something like that. He's done a lot of deals. I stopped counting. I mean, because we're trying to grow a company here and whatnot, but he's done a lot of deals for sure. And he was terrible this morning. You see, because this is real life. This isn't like you fix it and then it's there. It's every day you come into work, you got people you're working with. You got how you wake up in the morning, you got mindset, you got reality. And that's one thing I'd like to push on to everybody, is the reality of waking up in a bad mood, the reality of wanting to cut off work at 1 o'clock. This is real stuff, So that's my advice on acquisition manager hiring.
All right. This is a really important one. Lushan says, I was cold calling for a company for a while and stopped to try the other day, and I could barely breathe because of the nerves. What's your opinion?
You know what? This is a great question on the other gentleman who said, Ryan, why in the world are you on a cold calling? Why'd you do cold calling for 4 hours today? This is why. Lucian. This because we're talking about real world situations here. So Lucian just said, I was cold calling for a company for a while and stopped. And I tried the other day, and they could barely breathe. I don't know if it's a male or female, so I do apologize. But you could barely breathe because of the nerves. I get it too. If I don't jump on that cold caller and get 45 no's, then when my 10 leads come in, because they're coming in, all right, then I'm going to be like, I'm going to feel my heart rate go up. Yeah. And you know what? It's a muscle. You work through it. And I'll tell you this, Lucian, this is what I did for 3 months. All right. So when I go to the gym, I go to the gym quite a bit. I sit in the sauna. And when I sat in the sauna, this is what I said to myself. Do it now, 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 do it now. So what you're doing is you're programming your subconscious mind to do it now, because procrastination is a dream killer, my friend.
I 100% agree. I mean, it
Okay.
doesn't help.
So-
Being on a cutter boat doesn't hurt your confidence either.
So do it now. Do it now. So what you're doing is you're telling your brain to get over your nerves. All right. Once you're over them, I mean, me and Zach could talk to 1 million people in a week and we don't care. All right. But we're doing it every single day. And we have the 16 months. You have the 4 years of doing it. And it's a muscle and you have to continually do it. So, Lucian, keep going. You know what? That's good that you have nerves. That's good that you're sweating. All right? That's where you grow. That's the space that you're growing. When you're outside of your comfort zone, that's when you know you're moving in the right direction.
Couldn't have said it better. Thorio, I think you've said this a little before. How do you build your cash buyers list?
Yeah, so that's a great question. How do I build my buyers list? I go to PropStream. I pull cash buyers. I make sure that they have bought over 3 houses in the past 7 months. That's a criteria that is a must for me. I do not get LLC buyers. All right. My skit tracing services is not good. I have split tested my skit tracing services, and I have had cold callers call many of lists that are yes, we can get you LLC buyers. No, I don't get into, I mean, I might have someone spend 5 hours. This is KPIs, by the way, 5 hours on a $12 to get 2 people that are actually LLC owners. That's not good for me. I can buy a list of buyers, right? Cash buyers that are people, okay? And sit on a $12 and probably grow my buyers list by 30 people in like 3 hours. So if you're talking about growing it by 30 people in 3 hours on a $12 from a PropStream list, that's how you build a buyers list, my friend.
Yeah, I've been telling everyone about PropStream to build cash buyers. I don't hear anyone talking about it. It's one of the best ways for me. Guys, if you want a free trial, listria.com. That's just 7 days if you want a free trial in there. But let's see here. Man, all right, let's keep going. Mark doesn't like Zen call. It's all right, bro. Java asks, Java, I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names. Will this be on replay? Of course. You're on Facebook right now. Go to Flip with Rick on YouTube. It will be there for the rest of my life, everyone's life. It will be here for 100 years from now. You can go back here and listen to this fire. It will be here, not deleting. And since you're on Facebook, go on the Flip with Rick YouTube, subscribe, and then go to the comments and the descriptions. And then Ryan's cold calling thing will be on there too.
Let me touch on Zen call real quick. All right. Because it's easy for someone to say, you know what, Zen call doesn't work. There's glitches. Okay. Well, yes, there is glitches. And a lot of times, you might be getting voicemails when you're not supposed to, or a lot of times, you're going to have to go into the back end. So let me tell you a secret about Zen call. You have to pay attention to the back end of Zen call. You're making so many calls that you can get marked as spam quickly. So go back there. Okay. Put it on, you need probably 15 numbers. Okay. So it auto rotates the numbers. Because what's going to happen is if you have 4 numbers and it's only on, you got 1 cold caller and you got 4 numbers and you're sitting on there for 8 hours, guess what's going to happen after 3 hours? You're going to get marked as spam. It's going to slow down and you're not going to get any calls. Yep. So if you really want to work Zen call, and it's easy, by the way, find out the back end, go in there. You can literally click delete, 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 delete all the numbers and get brand new, fresh numbers. That's why it's slowing down. And okay, if Zen call has a bad day, guess what? It's a $12. You're going to be doing the work on a triple dialer in 1 hour that takes you 4 hours on triple. So it's worth it. If it's a messed up day, who cares? Move on.
I'm telling you right now, if I knew about triple line dialer, I was doing the triple line dialer. If I knew about 12 line dialer back then, I would have saved. I would have made a lot more money.
Me too.
Let's see here. Mr. Blue Giver doesn't like giving away. Dude, Ryan's giving away his secrets, bro. Ryan is giving them away. I'm telling you right now.
I told myself I wasn't going to do this, by the way, and I'm just letting it all out. But,
oh, bro.
it takes hard work. it takes hard work and money too. So,
Lucianne says, chill on this man. He's been on fire for the past hour. Oh my gosh. People are loving it. Oh my God.
Yes.
Ryan, if you have an out, let me know.
Thank you.
But yeah, dude, everyone's loving your stuff. We got a lot of great stuff. Mark wants to know what CRM you're using.
Oh, you know what? That's a great question. So I'm a little, okay. Now I need to get a CRM. I don't have a CRM right now. I use Mojo as a CRM, but I'll tell you what, every lead that comes into this office, I answer within 7 minutes. And it goes into a Mojo list where I can take notes and call repeatedly. So I use Mojo. It's not the greatest CRM in the world. But I get every single lead answered within 7 minutes. And that's more than probably 90% of business owners in the wholesale industry can say.
If you have a CRM, it doesn't matter what CRM, you just have one, because you can't memorize all of them, but just having one's amazing. Let's see, Jared says, coach me, coach. Ryan, you don't have any coaching, right?
I'm not doing any coaching. I'm growing a business.
Though. I mean,
I'm coaching y'all now. I'm coaching you.
I'm telling you.
This is huge.
If you got any value with Ryan, comment below if you help them. Comment below also the number one thing you've learned on this one too. Show the love. Let's see here. I'm new here. Seems like great information to get started. Thank you so much.
Yes. Autumn. It's all mindset and hard work, and systems. If you're gonna make 45 phone calls, make 45 phone calls every day for 4 months. Okay.
Definitely. Donk says, what if the realtor tries to take the walkthrough and convince the seller to list with the realtor? Ooh.
Yeah, so that's a great question. That's a super question. And honestly, last week, I have realtors that work with me. And if I have a fire deal, they ain't walking it. I can promise you that.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's why I have boots on the ground. I have multiple boots on the ground. And I'll tell you this, it's nice to have multiple boots on the ground. And it's just a phone call, by the way, of people that aren't real estate related. Because, they don't see an opportunity and then see it that they can make a lot of money on it and then backdoor you and then ruin a $20,000 deal for you. So, I grew my business with a lovely woman in the Triad area of North Carolina. She has no real estate background. She's a nurse, so she's a loving person. And she used to get all my deals signed. I get a lot of my deals signed electronically, but she would show up and just put that charm on, and she's doing my acquisitioning for me. I don't even need to say anything. Once she shows up and she's like, oh, hey, child, how you doing? It's signed.
Oh, yeah.
To the table, it's done. So, so that's a great question. If it's a fire deal and you don't have a great relationship with that realtor or a long relationship with that realtor, then get someone that's not related into real estate to walk that property 100%.
All right. Scott says normally. Yes, of course, they're all normally on here. You're on Facebook, so everything was 100% will be on YouTube. But yeah. All right. Let's see. Raw. This is raw. This is awesome. Ethan wants to know, what's the best education system for acquisitions?
Oh, that's a great question. So a great question, education system is Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is a beast at sales. And one thing that changed in my acquisitions, so the reason why I talk so pronounced, I don't say pause words, I understand what I'm saying before I say it, is because I've acquisitioned so many deals in the past 12 months. You just get better and better and better and better. You know what you're going to say before you say it, and the only way to do it is to do it. And say some pause words. You don't want to sound like a robot, because a lot of people do say a lot of pause words. So a few here and there is fine.
Listen to Elon Musk. He says no pause words. He sounds crazy, but it's like you ask him a question, he won't say, He'll just, and then he'll say it. That's the one example I can think of. Like, he sounds crazy, but he's a genius. But like,
I want to put this example on here for your listeners. So I'll do a little quick replay. When you're buying a house over the phone, you have to sound like you know what you're saying. So let's say I say this: Hey, John, how are you doing today, sir? I'm doing good. Okay, well, I just wanted to give you a call. I know this kind of is out of the blue. Do you have any real estate you want to sell, sir? Oh, you do? Okay, well, I can get a purchase agreement signed, and it can be a pretty quick process. How does that sound?
It sounds like nails on a chalkboard to me right now.
It sounds
It
terrible.
hurts. It hurts my ears.
It sounds terrible. So if you think you can get a deal signed by saying pause words, or you can say, John, how are you doing today, sir? Do you have any properties you're interested in selling? Oh, you do? That'd be great. I'm a local real estate investor and I'm looking to buy my next house. Do you have a fix and flip property, something that needs renovations, or like a buy and hold? I'm looking for my next rental. Boom. You're in right there.
I'm telling you right now, it's amazing. Mark says Todd Toback is a great program. I've never heard of it or seen it. I know of Todd, but not his program. Ethan asked the same question. Mr. Blue says not drinking keeps you clear. I have no experience. I mean, I've never drank before, so I don't know the difference, but I think Ryan can talk about it a little more. But yeah.
Dude, Mr. Blue, man, I'm telling you, man, and I've been wanting to party. I'm like a partier. I'm an outgoing, I'm an extrovert. I love to party and have a good time and hang out at the beach and stuff like that. And drinks just follow. So yes, I do understand about drinking quite a bit. But since I've stopped, I'm so clear and I'm happier and healthier.
Sweet. Thank you for the insight, Ryan. That's awesome. I love it.
No problem. I appreciate you being on here.
Righty. Joe says, I got on here late, so may have answered this. How often do you hit a SMS or cold call list?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So what I do is, I buy a list, let's say 25,000, and I just go to town. I just work it. Once I get a lead, then I hear this. Then I'm on the phone, no pause words. Mr. Seller, how are you doing today? I would love to buy your house. Do you have one? And that's it. And then, you just carry on. So texting is a little bit different because with lead Sherpa, we can't dial Verizon or AT&T, one of the two right now.
It's Verizon, I think.
Verizon. We can't text Verizon. So I'll have a list of 10,000. I'll probably go through it in a few days. And then you need to do a follow-up campaign, which you have less response rates on, or you just need to buy another list. So, yeah. And I just hit as many leads in a day as possible. Usually it's about, I'd say 16 hours of cold calling and about 2,000 text messages per day.
Wow. All right. Tony says, what do you think about doing deals with agents? I think he's talking about the MLS. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, I think it's a great revenue source, and it's also a great way to build relationships. So you're going to be getting a lot of off-market leads. You got to realize that you're sitting on a lot of gold. Okay. So when you have these off-market properties and they want to sell, just because you can't do it with a deal with them, the way to become wealthy is you need multiple streams of income. So what you need to do is you need to take your lead source and you need to try to maximize it every way possible. Now, let me ask you a question, Tony. So if I have a realtor that I just gave 4 listings to last month, do you think he'll walk a property for me? Do you think he'll call Mary Jane? I said Mary Jane. Do you think he'll call Mary in 20 minutes if you gave him 4 listings last week? This is called relationship building at its finest. And so, I deal with a gentleman named Tom. I'm giving him listings after listings. He's doing walkthroughs for me. It's like he's patting me on the back. I'm patting him on his back. And we're moving forward. We're building each other up.
Definitely. All right. And let's see here. Chris Jackson says he's getting a lot of his deals through text. His one appointment's pretty cool. Lee says, can you explain how to work with a realtor again?
Yeah, for sure. So my first question is, are you investor friendly? Because a lot of real estate agents do not like investors. They actually could potentially try to report you to the board, okay, the commissions board, by practicing real estate without a license. So it's kind of a thin line, but it's okay. What you're doing is completely legal. Okay. A lot of our mentors, Zach's and I's mentors, and his father has been doing this for a very long time, and we're not sitting in jail. So, but you take shares from that realtor. You're taking money from them without a realtor's license, because a realtor is only getting paid 3% or 2% on a listing, and they've had to do a lot of work, and they work under an umbrella corporation like Keller Williams or Remax Elite to do so. So when we're out here making $10,000, $20,000 on a $15,000 property, which just happened to me last week, that is utterly insane. It's insanity to them. They don't like that. So first question, are you investor friendly? All right. Have you worked with other investors? And this is a big question. Have you worked with wholesalers? Because some realtors have sold to investors and they'll tell you, yeah, I've worked with investors, but they haven't worked with wholesalers. So you need to make sure the next question after that is, hey, I'm a wholesaler. And then I just ask them, have you ever done a deal with a wholesaler? If they say yes, you're in like Flynn. If they say no, run for the hills.
Easy as that. I mean, I've been told I was going to be reported so many times. I'm like, do it. At this point, I'm like, just do it. Come on. Edward says, what's the follow-up process with leads since most don't close on the first call?
Yeah, that's a great question. So every single lead is going to be different. Okay. So, you have some people with like 5 heirs on a property. You have some properties that are vacant that's been sitting there for years or months. You have some properties that, are in divorce or are in probate or, in special proceedings. So go into foreclosure. So that's why you become very good at acquisitions, because acquisitions are that's why when people say wholesale is like, oh, you get a deal under contract. Okay, well, your next deal is going to be 100% different, my friend, because there's going to be a totally different set of circumstances that are going to be playing on that particular deal. So you're going to have people that their family has passed away, right? That has passed away in a year. Well, then you need a letter of testamentary, what we were just talking about, in the local newspaper in order to close. You're going to get, every single deal I learned something new. So what's your follow-up process with leads since most don't close on your first call? It's literally on a lead-by-lead basis. And then I'll tell you this, to be a really good acquisitionist, you have to have really good memory. So I've got like 7 deals going on right now. I literally know every single thing about them. And you get better. You just get good at it. So memory is big. Like I know like I need to make a call tomorrow at 12. But that's what a CRM for as well. That's what that's for as well.
Definitely. And let's see, last question here. What's a good way of getting proof of funds for agents if you have no money?
That is a beautiful question. So I use Kogo Capital. It's $9. You get your proof of funds. And I'll tell you this, bums. So this is what I do as well.
I mean, this is stuff that people need to know. I appreciate you. Yeah. So what is it called? What is it called so I can spell it out for everyone?
Kogo, C-O-G-O.
Oh, C-O-G.
Kogo Capital Proof of Funds. It'll take you to their website. You literally fill it out. You can have it in 3 minutes.
Wow.
Sent to your email, and it looks professional, and it has a number they can call to verify.
Sweet. Easy as that. Let me go get that really quick just so people could see it. Kogo Capital, proof of funds.
That's it, $9.
All right. And actually, we got another one here. So let's see here. So many gems. Biggest for me is probably the simplicity of the script. Wow. All right. So that's it. Let's see. I think you helped them out. But that's it, guys. So that's the last question from the audience. I got one last question for Ryan. Ryan, literally on here 2+ hours, just spitting knowledge, spitting an amazing game. Guys, if Ryan had a YouTube channel, you think guys would watch it? Comment below. Maybe people want to see this again. But my question for you, Ryan, I ask the same question every single podcast I do. Ryan, if you were 18 years old again, you had the knowledge you have today, but you didn't have the money. You have $300 in your bank account. You're living in Clearwater, Florida. What would you do to become the next Ryan Saxman?
I would get to work. I would get to work. I would take blame for everything in my life. Take blame for every single thing in your life. Know it's going to take time. Your journey is 100% different than everybody else's. I mean, I didn't have a father like Zach, right? And I'm not hating on Zach at all. I'm saying our journeys are completely different. I had to go do 10 years in the Coast Guard to even realize that, hey, how do you become successful? Oh, you read books? There's mentorship programs? What? You see what I'm saying? So everybody's journey is different. Everybody's going to enjoy. You got to enjoy the journey, guys and ladies. Enjoy the journey, because I'll tell you what, I cashed a $20,000 check last week, and I'm no happier than before I did or not. So it doesn't rely on the money. It relies what's inside. So work on that.
All right. And that's it, guys. I truly appreciate you, Ryan, for coming on. Definitely going to have you on some more. Guys, I really appreciate it. Follow Ryan on Facebook. If you have a deal in North Carolina, I mean,
Yes.
obviously you can send something to Ryan. He'll get it closed. Please just message him on Facebook. You're probably going to get a lot of messages, Ryan, but that's what you do to go on this, helping people out. I truly appreciate it. You're a giver, man. Truly appreciate it. You're inspiring everyone. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
See you guys next week.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it. Have a great day.